Today, for the last regular season game of the year, we are at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for the 13-2 Philadelphia Eagles to take on the 8-6-1 Dallas Cowboys. Last week, we played the Miami Dolphins and won in a nail-biter of a game, 26-23, where Carpenter had to come out and kick a field goal. Today, this is our first, I believe, our first bad weather game of the entire year, and it comes in Week 17 as we are playing in the rain. We are without LaShawn McCoy. We are without Matt Barkley, as both are out with injuries. I am not choosing to sit these guys because it is Week 17, and if we win, we get the #1 seed, as the Packers are 13-2. But if we win, we get the #1 seed. And first play of the game, he finds Witten on the 14-yard gain. So, shocker there, he finds Jason Witten. But now 2nd and 12, Romo dropping back, fires, finds Dunbar, and Dunbar gets a decent gain there, 6 yards on that play to set up 3rd and 6 for the Cowboys. Romo sends a man in motion. Tony Romo fires and finds Des Bryant, who gets the first down and then is brought down. 8-yard gain for him. Romo from under center now, 2nd and 7. Tony Romo dropping back, firing, and he finds Miles Austin, who has a 13-yard gain there and a very good catch. This drive has lasted a while already. 2nd and 10. Tony Romo looking like he's going to run it, but he is brought down. I don't even know who tackled him on that one. It was Fletcher Cox who gets credit with the sack, but there were about 4 Eagles there, so I think all of them should probably get credit for that one. 3rd and 11. Tony Romo dropping back. Romo is almost hit, but he finds Jason Witten. Brandon Boykin cannot bring him down, and then Eric Wolf has to wrap him up and bring him down. 2 receptions, 27 yards for Jason Witten. They are passing the ball a whole lot on this drive. 3rd and 11, a couple plays later. Romo dropping back, fires and finds Miles Austin, who takes it inside the 10 all the way down to the 5-yard line. 2 receptions, 35 yards for Miles Austin now. As from under center, Romo sends Collins in motion. He hands it off to Dunbar, who is then into the end zone on 2nd and goal. So Dallas draws first blood, 7-0, as they're trying to upset the Eagles and potentially stop them from getting a #1 seed. And the kickoff, it's Dexter McCluster back to return. I have no idea where Deshaun is, as McCluster cuts to the left. McCluster out across the 30, out across the 40. He cuts back after that dude turned on Superman speed or something. He gets it all the way down to the 10-yard line, and there is a flag on the play, and it's focused on Robinson, clipping on Robinson. So now instead of starting on Dallas's 10, they will start on Philadelphia's 12. So completely on the other side of the field now, as Nick Foles with the handoff Darius Raynaud on 2nd and 13. That would make it 3rd and 15 for the Philadelphia Eagles, as Nick Foles now only one in the backfield. 3rd and 15, fires, finds Brad Smith, and Smith out across the 50, 45, 40, 35, almost 35. Brought down at the 37, a 56-yard gain by Brad Smith there to keep the Eagles' drive alive. Now handoff Darius Raynaud. He gets caught up on his own blocker twice, but he does get the first down there. 3 rushes, 9 yards for Darius Raynaud. Nick Foles from shotgun, play action, and Foles is going to keep it himself, and he's inside the 5 and hurdles, and he lands at the 2-yard line. So Philadelphia will have the ball at the 2, 2nd and goal. He drops back. There's no one there. He runs into Darius Raynaud and goes down. Laws is credited with the sack. Now on 3rd and goal, he fires and finds Austin Safarian-Jenkins, who is brought down at the 2. So now they have 4th and goal from the 2, and they decide to go for it. Read option. Nick Foles walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. 7-7 now for the Philadelphia Eagles, as they try to move on to 14-2 and take the #1 seed in the playoffs. As Tony Romo drops back, fires, and he finds his target, but he is then brought down. Romo already has 10 attempted passes, and Romo drops back now, and he's firing, and he finds Bryant, who is then brought down by Good, I believe, who is in place of Trent Cole, who is injured. And from under center, Tony Romo dropping back. He fires and finds Collins again, who gets it to 2nd and 1. Collins, 2 receptions, 10 yards on the day. He sends Collins in motion. He drops back. He's looking. 2nd and 1. He fires and finds Collins again, who gets a decent gain there. 3 receptions, 18 yards for the fullback, Collins. And from shotgun now, Romo dropping back. Tony Romo fires, and it's dropped by Des Bryant. So that bring up 3rd and 4 for the Dallas Cowboys. He sends Jason Witten in motion. Romo drops back. Tony Romo fires deep, and it is dropped by everyone and bounces off the helmet of Patrick Chung. So they punt the ball to Philadelphia as he gives it to Darius Raynaud here on the first play of the next drive. And Raynaud takes it almost into Dallas territory. He takes it to the 48-yard line on the huge gain. Now we are in Dallas territory as Nick Foles drops back, fires, and overthrows his target by a mile, and it's almost intercepted. Obviously not too good for the Eagles now. Foles drops back and fires and finds Bryce Brown, who gets the first on 3rd and 7 and a little bit more. So Bryce Brown keeps the Eagles drive alive with a 14-yard gain on that one. Foles now from shotgun. Nick Foles drops back, fires deep, and it is almost intercepted. Had he put a little bit more air under that, it probably would have been a touchdown. 3rd and 10 now for the Eagles. Nick Foles drops back. He fires and overthrows the screen route. So that would bring up 4th and 10 as out would come Dan Carpenter. And Carpenter with a pretty long field goal attempt. The kick is away and good for the Eagles. So that would make it 10-7 Philadelphia, as this offense is obviously trying, but they're not doing as well as they need to be, especially for a playoff team. 5 rushes, 17 yards by Lance Dunbar to this point as he gets that first down. Now 3rd and 4. He sends Witten in motion again. Romo from shotgun, dropping back. Tony Romo fires for Jason Witten, who's open, and Witten drops the ball. Not a very common occurrence there, with Jason Witten not being able to hold on to it. But now they punt the ball to Philadelphia. Play action, Nick Foles fires deep and overthrows Dexter McCluster. McCluster was open, but Foles just overthrew him by a mile. Nick Foles now on 2nd and 10, dropping back. Nick Foles fires, and it is dropped by Dexter McCluster. So obviously the rain is affecting today's game with all these drops, but I don't know how much it'll affect the rest of the game as he fires and finds Bryce Brown. Bryce Brown cannot get the first, so they punt the ball back to Dallas, and Dallas would come out on 1st and 10. Nearing the end of the first half, Tony Romo drops back, fires, finds Harris, who holds on to it, and I don't think Harris has dropped one today. 2 receptions, 30 yards for him. And now Romo from under center drops back. Romo fires, and it is dropped by Jason Witten again, there was no one within 5 yards of him. So now on 2nd and 10, Romo dropping back. His most reliable target has not been very reliable so far, and he finds Des Bryant, who gets his 3rd catch on the day. And now Tony Romo from shotgun. Romo fires and finds Dwayne Harris, who gets it inside the 10-yard line and then is brought down to the 8-yard line. 1st and goal, he sends Witten in motion again, and this is in the right back. Romo fires, and Terrence Williams cannot hold on to that one. That's another drop to add on to the tally today. As Tony Romo drops back, Romo fires, and it is caught by Des Bryant at the 1, and the Eagles would waste a timeout in order to have a little bit of time to try and do something, and that would make it 10-10 for the Dallas Cowboys, as Tony Romo has been able to lead the Cowboys to a decent game today. Nick Foles fires and finds Ted Ginn, who has a decent gain there. And now they're going to run the no-huddle offense. 1st and 10. Under a minute to go in the first half. What's Nick Foles going to do? What's he going to attempt? 45 seconds to go. Nick Foles drops back. Foles is hit as he's throwing, so that would bring up 2nd and 10 for Philadelphia. They obviously don't get anything on that play. As now Nick Foles from shotgun drops back, fires, and is completely off target. The rain is affecting Nick Foles a lot today, as he has missed a lot of wide open passes. As Nick Foles drops back, fires, and that was just kind of a bad judgment on that one. 4th and 10. But now it's halftime, and you can see the stats as Nick Foles would come back out to try and lead Philadelphia to something. As Nick Foles drops back, fires, and finds Darius Raynaud. And that is not how you want to start the first half or second half. Foles is 7 for 17 on the day. He's not even completing 50% of his passes. As Foles fires and finds Ted Ginn, who has been incredibly reliable today. 2 receptions, 36 yards. I guess not incredibly reliable with only 2 catches, but he has played well. 2nd and 12. Nick Foles drops back. He fires deep, and he has Deshaun. Deshaun Jackson was wide open, and Foles just completely missed him. 3rd and 12 now for the Eagles as Foles comes out in shotgun. Nick Foles on 3rd and 12, drops back. He's looking, fires, and overthrows his target again. So now it'd make it 4th and 12 for the Eagles, and they'd punt the ball to Dallas. He sends Witten in motion. Romo dropping back. Tony Romo rolling out to his right, and he is almost hit, and he gets it out to Dez Bryant, but Dez Bryant could not hold on to it on that play. So now it'd bring up 2nd and 10 for the Cowboys. From shotgun, Romo takes a snap. Tony Romo runs it, and Romo will be hit and brought down by Good, but he has 2 rushes for 16 yards on the day. Tony Romo now from under center on 3rd and 6. Romo driving back. He's dancing around in the pocket, and he is then sacked to bring up a 4th down for the Cowboys. And Cedric Thornton was the one on that tackle. So the Eagles get the ball back. Game still tied at 10 as Nick Foles drops back, fires, and it is almost intercepted. His intended target was Dexter McCluster, but he did not come up with it. 3rd and 8. Nick Foles drops back. Foles fires and finds Smith, but Smith cannot hold on to it. So that would lead to another punt back to Dallas. No one has scored yet this quarter. So we'll see how the rest of this quarter goes. But he gives it to Lance Dunbar, who is then laid out by Brandon Boykin. Romo, 30 attempts on the day, and it's only the 3rd quarter. Midway through the 3rd quarter, actually. Romo dropping back. Tony Romo in the pocket, fires deep, and it is intercepted by Ty Zimmerman. But he cannot get 2 feet down, so that would cause it to be 4th down for the Cowboys. And Nick Foles dropping back, fires and finds Darius Raynaud, who is then brought down after a 3-yard loss. 9 for 24 for Nick Foles. So he is obviously not having a great day as his team is still tied. And he finds Bryce Brown, who trucks a defender, fumbles, and Ted Ginn picks it up. And that would count for a 1st down for Philadelphia. I don't know if he got it before he fumbled, but Ted Ginn sure as heck got it. So now next play, Nick Foles dropping back. Foles fires and finds Ted Ginn, who gets another 1st down on the play. 3 receptions, 47 yards for Ted Ginn, as Nick Foles in shotgun now drops back. Nick Foles fires and finds Dexter McCluster, who is out across the 15 and down at the 11-yard line. Nick Foles now comes out on 3rd and 10, dropping back. Nick Foles to the end zone and overthrows Dexter McCluster again. He just put it in the wrong spot. So that would bring out Dan Carpenter to try and give the Eagles the lead again. Carpenter with the kick, and the kick is good. So now it's 13-10 Philadelphia on this tremendous year so far. This last game looks like it's going to be a pretty close one. As Romo fires and finds Witten, who is laid out by Patrick Chung, but somehow he holds on to that. The wide open passes he drops, but Patrick Chung hits him as hard as he can. He holds on to it. 3rd and 8. Tony Romo dropping back from under center. Romo fires, and it is intercepted by Fletcher, but Fletcher cannot get 2 feet down. And I would actually go back and look at the replay on that one to know he did not. So 2nd and 10. Nick Foles dropping back. No one else in the backfield. Foles firing deep. Did not get enough air under it, and it's almost intercepted. Foles apparently does not have that good of an arm in this. 3rd and 10. Nick Foles dropping back. He fires and finds Austin Safarian Jenkins for the 1st down. So Nick Foles now trying to turn it around and maybe have a decent game. 2nd and 10. Nick Foles shotgun. He drops back. Foles looking, firing, and finds Dexter McCluster, who gets a nice catch. 3 receptions, 36 yards. As Nick Foles gives it to Darius Raynaud, and Raynaud would get it to 3rd and 3. 12 rushes, 62 yards on the day for Darius Raynaud. No big runs yet for Raynaud. As Nick Foles comes out now in shotgun. Foles takes a snap, fires, and finds Dexter McCluster in the end zone. And Dexter McCluster would make it 20-10 for Philadelphia, as Philadelphia now has a 10-point lead over the Dallas Cowboys in this game that they need to win to get the #1 seed. Romo drops back. Romo fires and finds Harris. Harris is down the sideline. He's forced out of bounds. Harris has 6 receptions for 76 yards on the day now for the Cowboys. 2nd and 10. Romo dropping back. He's trying to lead his team in a comeback as we're now in the 4th quarter. I just noticed that. He goes deep, and it is almost intercepted by Fletcher and then almost intercepted by Patrick Chung, but no one can come down with it. 3rd and 10. Romo dropping back. Tony Romo fires deep, and it is caught, but he is nowhere near in bounds. So they punt the ball back to Philadelphia. Philly has a lead or a chance to extend the lead as Nick Foles will get it, and Nick Foles is out across the 50 on the read option. He gets it almost to the 40-yard line. 3 rushes, 38 yards for Nick Foles. And now Nick Foles in shotgun. 1st and 10. Foles read option again. Foles is hit hard, and he is injured, and he would break his shoulder blade. So now in would come Taj Boyd for the rest of the game. As Nick Foles, it said he'd be out for the rest of the season, which is pretty obvious as we're in week 17. But now Taj Boyd drops back. Boyd fires and finds Bryce Brown. Bryce Brown cannot get the first down, so 4th and 1. They'd have to bring out the field goal unit again for a very long field goal try here. And the kick is up, and the 50-yard field goal is good on the try. So now they have a 13-point lead for the Philadelphia Eagles. Tony Romo's got to come up with something here. As Romo fires and finds Harris, who is then brought down by Boykin. Romo 24 for 40, 229 yards. They're throwing the ball a lot today for the rain. Romo now dropping back. Romo fires, and it's Brandon Boykin who gets his 11th pick on the year. He really has no hope in breaking the interception record now, but with 11 picks on the year, he is leading the NFL. Now Taj Boyd from shotgun on 2nd and 9. Handoff Darius Raynaud. Raynaud does get the first down. He's out across the 30-yard line down to the 29. So the Eagles are trying to extend this lead as Taj Boyd in shotgun again takes a snap. Handoff Darius Raynaud. Raynaud to the outside, and he got caught up on his blocker, or else he could have been gone. So there it is for the Eagles. They have played decent in the red zone today as Taj Boyd from under center, I don't know why I said Romo, gives it to Darius Raynaud and DeMarcus Ware on the tackle, who has only his 2nd tackle on the day. Now Taj Boyd in shotgun, no one else in the backfield. He fires and misses his target completely. So maybe it wasn't Nick Foles playing bad. Maybe it was just the rain affecting him a lot. And now Taj Boyd from under center. Taj Boyd trying to play decent to maybe get the 2nd string job. He fires, and Ted Ginn cannot hold on to the ball, as that would have been an easy touchdown for him. So now out come Dan Carpenter again, and Carpenter with the kick. And it is good, making the Eagles have a 16-point lead over the Dallas Cowboys, as this game is very close to being completely over. If they don't score here, this game pretty much is completely over. So he gives it to Cole Beasley, who is then forced out of bounds by Ty Zimmerman. 18-yard gain on that play. Romo is still fighting in this game. They are not out completely. They still have a slight chance, but Connor Barwin on that sack gets his first sack on the day. And Romo now on 3rd and 16 under center. Tony Romo fires, finds Miles Austin, who is forced down. 4th and 5, and Miles Austin is injured. There's only 2 minutes and 37 seconds left in the regular season. Romo drops back on 4th and 5. Romo is then sacked by Connor Barwin, who gets 2 sacks on the same drive. And now it's Taj Boyd, 1st and 20. Taj Boyd play action. All they've got to do is run out the clock. Taj Boyd up the sideline. And Taj Boyd turns a 1st and 20 to a 2nd and 2 off of one running play. And now Taj Boyd comes out on shotgun, 2nd and 2. Hands off Darius Raynaud. Raynaud to the outside. And Raynaud inside the 10, inside the 5, and shoved out at the 4-yard line. As the Eagles are showing no mercy for the Cowboys here, as they are still trying to score from shotgun. Hand off Darius Raynaud, and Raynaud walks into the end zone. No mercy whatsoever for the Dallas Cowboys, as they shut them out in the second half completely in a win 33-10, and the Eagles have the #1 seed. The playoff bracket is very different, or not what I really expected for us to be. I already know our first opponent, but I will show you the entire playoff bracket in the next video whenever we go in to play the divisional round of the playoffs. But we do have the #1 seed. We have home field advantage. We have the bye week, and that is huge for us, especially since we have 2 of our top players injured. So in the divisional round, we expect to have Matt Barkley back, and if we make it to the conference championship, we should have LaShawn McCoy back. But there are the final stats on the day. 245 passing yards for the Cowboys, as Romo had a ton of passing attempts. But it was a great regular season, 14-2, and now we move on to the postseason to see how we do there. But this is Teenage Night, and I'm out.